So today we've been making all of our components classes. I briefly mentioned yesterday, because it had been in the tic-tac-toe tutorial that you did, that not all components must be classes. They can also be functions. But your component has to meet certain criteria in order for it to be a function. First of all, it must not have any state. Now, nothing has any state yet, but we anticipate adding data to this app. And I don't think chat header is going to ever need state. What it's going to need ultimately is the name of the current room or current channel, whatever you want to call it, and a description of the current channel. But that's going to come from somewhere else, right? You're going to change rooms by clicking something in the sidebar probably. So that data is not going to live inside chat header. It's going to be passed into it as props, right? Since that data comes from somewhere else, it's going to be props, not state. And there should be no particular data that the header needs to know about that doesn't come from another component. So it could be a function instead of a class. So we'll make that conversion real quick. It's pretty easy to switch back and forth between the two, should you need to. But these are called stateless functional components. And there will be a link in today's notes. There were in yesterday's notes too, about just what functional stateless components are. It's generally a good idea to do them if you can. If you don't need a class, don't use a class. Just keep it simple. Keep your entire component to one function. It just keeps things simpler. Yeah, was that your question? Yeah, so there'll be a blog post about them, as well as I think probably something from the React docs talking about stateless functional components. Let's see if we can find something real quick. Stateless functional components React. Yeah, so this is a blog post about the difference between the two. Just a plain JavaScript function which takes props as an argument and returns a React element. So here we go, chat header. Right now is a full-blown class. We don't need it to be, so I will no longer import component. I will just import React. You must still import React, or the JSX won't work. So instead of class chat header extends component, I'll have const chat header equals an arrow function. And we don't need a render method because the entire component is our render method. So just get rid of that, and I'll outdent one level. And we've done it. That's all there is to it. It is now a stateless functional component. So the entire component is just one big function that returns some JSX. And that's it. So if we don't know we need state, we're going to do this. Check it out in the browser, and nothing changed. If you look at it in the React Dev Tools, there's a search bar in the React Dev Tools. Don't forget that's there when you're trying to troubleshoot. If we start looking for chat header, there it is. Yep, still shows up as a component. If it had any props, they would simply be passed in as arguments here, or as an argument for the entire props object. Use a stateless functional component for chat header. Questions? We're going to do it over and over.